What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do a tap into your soul reading for the sign of Leo. Okay, Leo, this is your last reading for this week. Okay, hopefully you are doing well. Remember, you guys, these are general messages, not personal, so take what resonates and pass the rest to the next. Okay, Leo, if you are not familiar, there's some new energy here, and you're not familiar with Tap Into Your Soul. These are the only deck that we use in this reading. Okay, at this time, feel free to grab a piece of paper or a pen and kind of do your own interpretation as the reading goes through, as we will be looking at your past, present, and future with 3 different questions attached to each. Okay, I will be pulling one card from the top, one from the bottom, and one energetically from the middle. Okay, and then we'll look at the bottom of the deck for your overall outcome. Okay, and at this time, if you like, depending upon your situation, you can write out what you would like your overall outcome to be. Okay, and by looking at the bottom card, you will interpret whether or not if that matches with your overall outcome. Okay, along with my interpretation, as these are intuitive. There's no book with this deck. This is the Soul Cards 2 deck by Deborah Koff Chapman. Okay, and they are touch illustrations. When you're looking at these images, I need you to be completely and 100% honest with yourself as we ask the questions for each placement and as you're looking at the imagery. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, we have one from the top for your past, one directly from the bottom for your present, and one energetically from the middle for your future. Okay, if I can get it as it's stuck to another card. There we go. Okay, and again, we'll look at the bottom of the deck towards the end. Okay, I do not turn all the cards over at one time, as it is too much energy to read at once. Okay, so we do one card at a time. Okay, so that being said, Leos, let's get started. The first question for you is, what held you back in the past? This is your past card. Okay, what held you back in the past, Leo? Okay, as you look at this card, take the time to really pay attention to the imagery, how it makes you feel as you're looking at it, and answer that question for yourself, or write how this imagery makes you feel. Okay, it looks as though this person is running forward. Okay, there's seems to be like some type of maybe like fire, things like that. The first thing I'm thinking of is like the Flash. Okay, some of you may be DC fans, possibly. Maybe you're a DC fan, maybe your favorite character is Flash. That's coming up. I'm feeling that. But this person is running, but you see all these like like they're tangled in something. Okay, there's tangles around them. Okay, keeping them from moving forward. Okay, and so it's possible in your past, Leo, that you were moving, what held you back in the past, which is kind of coincidental that the imagery here kind of insinuates holding back. Okay, you're running to get somewhere too fast. As the saying goes, going nowhere fast. Okay, is the saying that I'm hearing. Okay, like imagine you're in traffic and you see a stoplight, traffic lights ahead, and you ever notice that there's people that think you're driving a little bit too slow, or maybe you've done this yourself where you've been behind somebody and you hurry up and merge into the other lane around them to cut in front of them to only get stopped by the traffic light. Okay, where are you going? You're going nowhere fast. There's always, the traffic light is there. Everyone has to come to a stop. If it turns red, you have to stop. So where are you going? Nowhere fast. Okay. What you were running towards is up to you. Okay, as far as in life in general, maybe in the past you were heading nowhere fast because of everyone else around you. Okay, feeling like you were behind, feeling like you weren't able to keep up with everybody else. Okay, and we kind of touched on that this week during your ancestor read. Okay, so what held you back in the past is you were just basically trying to get ahead in certain phases of your life that really wasn't ready for you to attempt or achieve at the time. Didn't mean that it wasn't meant to be yours, it just wasn't the right time for it. Okay, kind of think about, for an example, something that's coming up is like buying a car, wanting your first car, and at the time maybe you didn't have the right finances or the right job to finance that car. Okay, and maybe you got a little bit in over your head. Maybe you decided to get a newer model car instead of getting a used car, which maybe would have been less money. And so you ended up with a higher car payment, which is taking a lot more of your money, which then equates to you having to have another job in order to pay for that car, on top of the insurance that comes with that car. And with the insurance that comes with that car, your premium is high because it's a newer model car as well. And so all of this kind of barrel rolls into more money that you have to spend, more of your free time that you have to take up just to pay for this new finance. Okay, and maybe you got that new car because 2 or 3 of your other friends got a whole brand new car. But do you know why they had to get that new car? Maybe they had to get that new car because their older car broke down on them. Maybe they deserved that new car because they've been riding around in that old Honda for 10 years. Okay, and they didn't want to keep pouring money into it, so they went and traded it in. Okay, there's different situations for different people. Okay, and what held you back in the past is trying to keep up with everybody else when you were meant to go at your own pace. Okay, so that being said, let's move on to your present, because I don't want to stay in your past too long at 8 minutes and 18 seconds. Okay, so let's move on to your present. What continues to hold you back presently? Okay, what continues to hold you back presently? Okay, and this card is in the same placement as Pisces. Okay, you may have Pisces in your chart. Okay, this of course is about you, it's not about other people. Okay, but as messages relate to other people, it will come in this reading. Okay, in the description box I will be putting a link to one of the many astrologers that do free birth charts. Okay, if you are interested, Leo, you can look for that link below in the description box. I have gotten a free reading from Yasmin Bland as far as my birth chart is concerned, and it was very, very eye-opening, and was able to let me know what my placements are as far as my sun, moon, and Venus, and also pay attention to your 7th house as well. Okay, or any of the houses in your birth chart that pique your interest. Okay, but birth charts really let you know about who you are astrologically, okay, based on the day that you were born, on top of the time in which you were born, as far as where all the planets were aligned during your birthday. Okay, and it can be very eye-opening. Okay, so be prepared for the truth. Okay, when you go to her site to receive, and I believe it won't say birth chart. It will probably say free horoscope chart. Okay, but that is a birth chart. Okay, so definitely look into that. And after you find out your placements, by all means, I would suggest you refer to the other Tap Into Your Soul readings for your placements. Okay, and that will probably give you a more well-rounded reading. Okay, so with that being said, I would like for you to look at this imagery as we get back to your reading. Okay, I'm not being paid for these. Okay, I'm not sponsored by her at all, although I do use her Moonology deck for my monthly manifestations. But if at any point in time I can offer some assistance to people by referring someone else to what I have used for myself, I'm going to do it. Okay, so with that being said, take the time to look at this card, Leo, and figure, interpret what you will of what is holding you back presently. Okay, if you look at this card really closely, the person is kind of waving and moving their hands. Okay, you have all these whirlwinds behind them in the mountains. Okay, in this kind of horizon behind them, kind of mimicking the same colors here. Okay, you have this tendency of thinking that you can manipulate people, Leo. Okay, and this could be based off of other traits from other signs within your birth chart. Okay, like I said, such as Pisces. Pisces has received this card on a few occasions, along with someone else, another sign. But nonetheless, presently, you continue to move and manipulate either people, places, or things to operate the way you feel they should operate. Okay, you find a way, kind of in junction with your past, to find a way to keep up with everybody else. Okay, or have people help you to keep up with them. Okay, maybe you utilize people as a resource to get the things that you need. Okay, such as that car situation. Maybe you got referred to the salesman that sold your 3 friends their cars and figured they'll give you a good deal. Okay, but they didn't. They charged you the same rate, they didn't waive any fees, and you ended up still paying, what you thought you would pay. Okay, I'm getting this feeling that maybe in that particular situation, one of them, it was a family friend that sold to them. Okay, and they were able to get a nice little discount, but that was for them, not for you. Okay, so kind of injunction with this card here. Okay, trying to get what other people have. Okay, when maybe it's not meant for you. Okay, maybe you possibly knew someone else who is in the car business that you probably should have been better off going to, and maybe you would have gotten a better deal if you would have went to somebody else that you knew instead of trying to go through the people that you also know. Okay, going through the people that you know, using their contacts. Okay, while that is sometimes good, you have to understand you have to create a rapport with people. Okay, in order for you to be able to even get the same treatment as them. Okay, even if somebody were to say, oh, could you cut my friend a deal, it's still up to that person to make their choice of whether or not they're going to give you a deal or not. Okay, because you have to understand that they have to go by rules and regulations as well, and they have to actually give reason to their boss or their supervisor as to why they waive so many fees for you. Okay, so you have to be mindful. You have to think of all of those things before you go manipulating or asking someone to do something for you based off of a connection with somebody else and they don't even know you from Adam. Okay, so kind of take those little things into account. Okay, but presently you have that tendency to think that you can move and manipulate people to do your bidding or to help you stay in line or in succession with everybody else in what they're doing in their lives. Everyone's life is based on their needs, wants, goals, and aspirations. It is very seldom that you are able to have people around you that have the same goals, okay? You have to look at your circumstances before you try to match anybody else's goals and aspirations, okay? What's for them is for them. What's for you is for you, okay? It is not healthy to want to manipulate people to do things or move the way you want them to move, okay? It backfires, and then you're stuck in a situation in some point where they end up coming to you for something. What do you have to offer people when you ask them for favors, or if they know a friend that knows a friend that can get you this and that? Do you have something to offer them when they come to you, let's say 2-3 months down the line, and wondering if you have resources? Okay, do you have any? If you don't have any, what use are you to them? And then next thing you know, you're finding that these people are leaving you because you don't have anything to offer. But they always have something to offer for you, but there's nothing in return. There's no reciprocity. And so you end up losing people instead of gaining new acquaintances. Okay? Just kind of consider that. That's specific to someone. I don't know who, but this is a collective reading. Okay? Let's move on as we're at 1710 in your reading to your future placement. Okay? What or how will you change your future? How will you change your future, Leo? Okay? This card, I believe, came up for Virgo and Scorpio in the past. Tap into your souls, okay? I believe. Primarily, I remember seeing it in Virgo, the strongest, okay? So that could be in your chart, okay? That placement might be, that sign may be in your birth chart, okay? Take a look at this card, Leo, and how it makes you feel, and ask yourself, how will you change your future? Sorry about that. How will you change your future? Okay. This is kind of, when I'm looking at this card, it makes me think of some form of higher evolution, okay, for yourself, okay? There is this small conscience. This is your conscience at the top here. This little baby head at the top, okay, is your conscience, okay, talking to you all the time, okay? It's there, okay? This is you in the middle, okay? But your conscience is here. This version of you down here is possibly just overall, okay? And it's just about listening to your conscience. That's what I feel for you, Leo, okay? Like, you have the ability to know what you're doing is either wrong or unorthodox or unethical, okay? But you ignore it, okay? Based off of this overwhelming need, like I said, to be over top of everyone, okay? We get it. Your animal in the zodiac is the lion, okay? The lion is the king of the jungle, okay? And you guys are very proud of that. And it's about lion. If you think of the lion, there's a lion pride, okay? But you're not the only strongest animal in the jungle. You're not. Do you know lions can be taken down by a snake bite? While you may be big, the smallest of creatures could take you down, okay? If you really think about the food chain, okay? Yes, the lion is at the top of the food chain. A cheetah is at the top of the food chain, okay? Because of the fact that they're apex predators, okay? They stalk and hunt their prey. But as you're stalking and hunting your prey, you're not able to sense the smallest of things, like a scorpion that can sting you and paralyze you in seconds with its venom. The same with a snake, okay? You can be taken down by the smallest of things. Let's say that snake or scorpion is insecurities based on your past of not being able to have what other people have, based on your circumstances. Your circumstances are based on the choices that you make. Think of your finances. Trying to keep up with everybody else, knowing that you don't have the same pay band as other people. You don't make the same salary as other people. You have to work with what you have, money-wise. If you want more money, get a better job. That's going to pay you more. Or if you don't want to get another job, but you like the job that you're at, how long have you been there? Maybe you try and get an increase, instead of listening to your conscience, who is telling you that. You in turn decide, I'm going to try and learn the job that my friend has, so that way I can get paid the same amount of money that they do. But can you really handle that job? Maybe that job type is not for you. Not saying that you can't learn it, but what if you do get that job and it's a little bit too difficult for you, or it's not in your skill set? You're then stuck. That's a form of being in a jungle as far as life is concerned. That little decision to try and keep up with somebody else so you can have the same life that they have is like getting a bite from a snake. It's debilitating. Do you want to keep living like that? So listen to your inner voice, your inner conscience that's trying to save you from going through those heartaches, trying to save you from going through those debilitating moments in your life that you could have avoided by just being you and going at your own pace. Okay? So with that being said, Leos, we're going to look at the bottom of the deck to see what your final outcome is. Okay? This is your final outcome. Hopefully, this matches with what you want your final outcome to be. Okay? I'll hold this up for a moment. Take the time to really look at this card. Want it for yourself, Leo, to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. Or a better version of yourself, period. Okay? This card, very beautiful. First time this one is really coming out. This one, your past, this came out before too, but I just can't recall the sign that it came out for. However, this is primarily someone really at peace. Their right hand is up with this red around it, okay? And I feel like there's this hope of exploring what your true passion is, okay? As our right side holds masculine energy, okay? You have masculine and feminine energy. Your feminine energy is on your left side. Your masculine energy is on your right side, okay? So you're going to be driven by a new passion, a new goal, okay? Maybe it is a new skill set for you that you are going to actually take the time to learn and grow into something in reference to your actual skill set, okay, that is relatable to you, okay? You will finally support yourself with this left hand and arm focusing on the side, okay, and kind of relaxing and holding their side, okay, if you see that here, okay? So I feel as though you are, for one, going to be supporting yourself and nurturing yourself and not expecting anyone else to do it for you. You will be at peace with yourself and you will find that inner drive for you, okay? And that's what I feel is your final outcome, okay? Is to be an individual, okay? And not so much reliant or codependent on other people to provide for you, okay? So with that being said, Leos, that is all that I have for you this week. I hope this has been a enlightening energy wave for you this week, all right? But until next time, I will see y'all next month, as I will be on a 2-week vacation from readings, primarily to help cleanse the energy for the month. And so going into June, okay, I have, well, not really, 2 weeks. I have 4 more signs next week, okay? If you find out what your birth chart placement is, by all means, you can tune in next week for one of your placements, if possible, okay? If it's something that you feel will help you. Until then, stay well and peace.